Can hear me. I can see some of you are just connecting to the audio. So we're just going to wait for everybody to join. Whilst you're all connecting, are you able, just out of interest for ourselves, and obviously so you can see who's in the conversation as well, would you like to put the country where you're currently joining us from or calling in from with your name? It would be really, really lovely to see where you're all calling in from. So we'll just give 2 seconds, 3 seconds for everybody to join. My name's Katie. I'm one of the international recruitment managers at Neoma Business School. And you can see another camera open, I hope, as well. This is my colleague, Maricelli. She's here today mainly to help answer your questions. So feel free to write anything that you would like into the box. Or if you're feeling very brave, you are able to put up your hand and we can obviously allow you to ask any questions that you might have. Hello, we've got some more people joining. I can see we've got somebody from Dubai. Hi, that's so nice to meet you. As we were saying, just for those who've joined, if you'd like to and you're feeling brave enough to put the country where you're calling from in your name or write it into the chat box, please feel free. And myself and Maricelli here today will answer questions as we go along, and we'll have some question time afterwards as well. So we'll just wait if everybody's there. Hi, Darpan from Warsaw, lovely to speak with you. If anybody's feeling brave and wants to put their camera on as well, as you can see me and Maricelli, we've been nice and brave, so if you want to show your faces, feel free. But we're going to start shortly. Hi Danica, hi. Are you okay? Nice to see you. Anybody else feeling brave? If not, no pressure. But the aim of the webinar, hi Darpan. The aim of today's session, I'm sure you're all aware, with events going on around the world, this has been a year like no other. And we know that maybe students have possibly put on hold their decision about how they would like to continue their studies next year. And with what's happened, do you even feel that it's still possible? So today, this was a session to really let you know that if you're still considering studying in France, if you're still considering taking a master's, it's still not too late to apply for a program that will start in October 2020 or even in January, which we'll go into shortly. So we're just going to admit the last person to join. Hi, Shivan. We're just about to start the presentation. As we say, any questions, please feel free to write them into the chat box. If Maricelli feels she can answer them directly, she will. If not, if you're feeling brave and want to put your hand up, feel free. It's a short presentation and we're here to answer any questions that you've got. So I'm going to put on a quick presentation. Stay with me, guys. And let's go. So as you can see, I've just introduced myself briefly. So I'm Katie and I look after students that live in Europe, Russia and Canada, as well as the USA. Maricelli also has North Africa, Middle East. We're a full team actually recruiting around the world, and many students have come to us recently, which is why we've organised this presentation to see how can we help you with your questions and how can you still join a master's programme that will start this year or even in January. So for those of you that maybe don't know Neoma, I'm going to touch briefly on some of the key figures as why we hope you would consider us as a business school that you may want to come to. We are part of the 1% of business schools that actually have the triple accreditation. As you can see, these are international organisations just there on the screen. And this is what I think you should use when you're looking at different schools to consider which schools have got a quality of education that has been recognised by outside sources. So we're really proud to be part of this top 1% of business schools around the world. And what's really important on there that I hope you can see is we have hundreds of nationalities coming to the school. As much as we don't have campuses all over the world, we're really based in France, we try to create this international atmosphere for you on campus. So even if you don't speak French, it's still very possible for you to follow your studies and enjoy your time in France. We're hoping as well that by taking a master's, and obviously with the connections that we have, as you can see, we have 200 major corporate partners. A lot of these you will be able to be in touch with during your master's studies at the school. And that's another good reason to do a master's with Neoma. We're one of the top 10 business schools in France. And hopefully with the amount of programs and the other webinars we've got coming up, you'll see why we've been given these rankings. But today, the most important thing is really to ask yourself the question, if you are considering a master's, how do I choose the right program for me? If you've got to this stage and you know that you'd like to continue your studies, what's really key is for you to be able to choose the right program. So one thing to consider, and a question we often get, is what's the point? Why should I do a master's in the first place? So we've just got 4 really good reasons for you here that you might want to consider.
How do I should put the data inside of you?
Oh, sorry, but
yeah, Anik, his microphone is.
Anik, do you have a question? If you want to write it in the box, and Mariceli will let me know. Is that okay? But for the masters, so why would you do a masters? What's really important, we'd hope, and the most important reason to do one, is to be able to increase your understanding and skills in a specific area. So if you're interested in marketing, you might get more information. Interested in supply chain, great. We will teach you the necessary skills to get the best job after your studies. As we were showing you before, 200 corporate partners. This is a business school with a huge alumni network and huge partners around the world. So we'd hope that it would increase your job opportunities. And we also understand that there's a lot of people that may want to change their career path. And this is something that you would be able to do if you were to join one of our Master of Science programs. However, if you've looked on our website, there's a few questions that you also may need to ask yourself before you choose the program. What's your level of English? What's your level of studies? And something that we're going to talk about in more detail, what is your professional project? So these are the first 3 questions that you need to ask yourself in order to choose your program. It may be at the end of the recruitment period and there is still time, but it's crucial to pick the right program and not just pick any program at random in order to help you get the job you want. So this professional project and why it's so important in your choice of program. At Neoma Business School, we can offer you 17 Masters of Science programs, as well as a 2-year option for those that have only got a 3-year bachelor's study. And we also have a Master in Management. So we've 19 programs to choose from. How do you know? And this is what's key. A professional project was something that was very new to myself as an English person living in France. It basically means, what is your career plan? What's your career path? So what we want to know during your application, we would like to see why you've chosen this program. How do you understand the modules and the aim of the program? And how will it help you in your career ambitions, your career path? If you want to be, as an example, a project manager, which program would you choose? And how can Neoma help you in order to get to this job? And that's exactly what it is in a nutshell. It sounds very specific, but each person on our recruitment team will be asking you, have you got a professional project which is really interesting? Mariceli, have we got any questions so far?
Yes, yes, actually we are having some questions. For example, Danica is asking us if they should include the CV in their professional project.
So to give you an idea, the CV is crucial for us to see what work experience you've got, to see where you've studied, also the modules or something that you might have specialised in. But your CV is not the professional project. Your CV is a document that will make up part of your application. The difference would be that with your professional project, this is an ideology or your philosophy on your studies, your ideas of how you would like your education to continue. So this is something that you would demonstrate through your answers to the questions on the online application. So we'll be asking you, why would you like to choose this program? Why would you like to choose Neoma? And where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? I hope that answers your question, Danica. Sorry, Mariceli, tell me.
There is another question from Sarah. Actually, maybe you can explain a little bit the difference between full-time masters and part-time programs, and if international students are allowed to do it, because she's actually interested in the international financial analysis, and she's actually more interested in the part-time program.
Okay.
But maybe you can give her some difference how she could join or not.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry, I can't see. Have you got any information of where the students currently?
She's Sarah. I suppose she's from a French-speaking country. Sarah, where are you from? do you want, I will give you, wait, one second, I can find her and I will activate her microphone. Maybe Sarah, you would like to ask your question out loud.
Paris. I think she's just written it in, Paris. And Sarah, have you been studying already for a year in France?
I think so I can activate. She has to accept to activate her microphone.
If
oh,
not,
she's in Paris already.
Paris.
Okay,
So
she's in
Sarah,
Paris.
if you have already studied for 12 months in France, legally you are allowed to join the part-time programs with what we call an alternance contract. So it's a contrat de professionnalisation. The only difficulty is if you haven't studied in France before for a 12-month period, you would be able to join the program, but it would work slightly differently. What I would recommend, Sarah, is that afterwards we'll leave our email addresses. You can send us more information and we'll be really specific, as there's a few crucial criteria to meet in order to join the programs as a part-time basis. And we would know what you would like to do and if you're eligible afterwards. So please feel free to send me a direct email, because it's quite a specific case with the part-time programs. And today, the information is a little bit more centered on the full-time programs. But you would still need to, however, have a 4-year bachelor's degree to be eligible. If not, we would need you to do a pre-master's year with us before you can join it. The first year would be full-time.
Yeah, she just wrote that she has actually a Master 2 in finance, so she will actually be eligible.
Yeah, you're completely eligible, Sarah. Thank you for putting that on. It saves a call afterwards. Normally, if you go onto the website, there's a different team. There's a contact directly that you're able to speak with called Stephanie, and you would be completely eligible with a Master 2 degree in finance to join that program. And they're still recruiting, so please do get in touch with them. Was there another question, Maricela?
I'm just checking. There is, well, I think you will answer some questions during your presentation, so I was waiting a little bit to
No worries.
But there is a question, of course, about the current situation and the COVID and what's going to happen in September with the September intake.
Of course. So the September intake, just to let you know, this is why there is still time to apply up until the 3rd of August. The September intake for the majority of our programs has now been delayed to the start of October. So normally we would hope that by that point, most students should be able to join us on campus, given that the situation we hope is improving on a daily basis. There are a number of programs. We have 10 of our MSCs and the first year of our global BBA, which obviously doesn't apply here, but there will be options for students to follow those programs online until students are able to join us on the campus. The other option that we are about to announce, and some people have actually been contacted about, is the possibility for about 6 of our MSc programs. I've got the list in front of me here. There's a 2 marketing options, a project development option, global management, and a few finance options as well. You are able to, if you would prefer, decide to start the program in January. So there's always options, and we're constantly evolving how we're dealing with the current crisis. But for the moment, for specific programs, they will start in October the 5th. Most of them will be online, unless you would like to choose some of the programs that will be starting in January. I can give you a full rundown of the list at the end of the presentation as well.
There is also Jasmine, actually, that she's asking, when is she going to receive her schedules for October start date?
Yeah, October, as we say, normally this can take a bit of time, but please, in the same way that obviously we're asking people to be quite patient with the current situation, we have to obviously extend the recruitment period, which means the timetabling of lessons as well is slightly delayed. Normally you would expect to receive your timetable, I would say, about a month to a month and a half before the program is due to start in October. It's quite a difficult task to program lots of MSCs and different programs on the same campus, so please do not worry, but you would normally receive that a month or a month and a half before. And as soon as you enroll to be a student, you're able to contact at any moment the welcome desk for all students, international or here in France, to ask all of these questions and make sure you've got all the resources necessary. Oh, I've just seen what's the deadline to apply as well for wine and gastronomy. You've got until the 3rd of August to apply. This is what we're talking about, the professional project. If you want to apply for this program, Danica, we really need to know why you're interested and how this will help you obtain your professional objectives. Is there any other questions for the minute, Maricela, or am I okay?
No, I think you can continue because there was another question, but I think you will answer. It's about 1 year and 2 year programs. Darpan was asking about these options, but I'm sure you will talk about that later.
Well, as we're coming on to the next slide, it just happens to be how to apply. We noticed that most of the questions that came back when we asked if you would be interested in this presentation was, how can I apply and what are the admissions criteria? So I mentioned briefly before that you may need to look at your level of studies and your level of English. So for those of you that have a 3-year bachelor's degree, which would equate normally to 180 ECTS, or the European credit system, or if you come from, say, a 4-year bachelor's degree where you have never studied business before and you have no quantitative subjects in what you've already studied, we would ask you to consider our 2-year MSc. This is where you would come to the campus. It would be in our campus in Rouen, which is Normandy, where Maricela is based, with a nice castle on the campus and very nice weather as well. We would ask you to join a program there, what we call a pre-master's year, as it prepares you with general modules. There would be bits of finance, strategy, marketing. We would help those that need help with their English level in order to then prepare you to join the specific Masters of Science program of your choice in the 2nd year. So for us, that's the option that we have in place. However, you can see on the bottom there in bold, if any students here that are tuned in today do have a 3-year bachelor's degree and it has come from an institution outside of France, so an international bachelor's, in comparison with the French system, you are still able to apply for the Masters in Management as well. So you have 2 options, either a 2-year MSc or a 2-year Master in Management program, which also offers you the chance to do a double degree with our MSCs. More on that in another webinar in a few weeks' time. But for those of you that do have a 4-year bachelor's degree, so the equivalent of 240 ECTS in business-related subjects, and of course a good level of English, as all of the programs are taught 100% in English, you are able to apply for any of the MSc programs that we have to offer.
Now that you talk about the Master in Management, Katie, before we go to the next slide, we have a question from Shivam that he's asking why this program hasn't postponed the intake to October.
For the Master in Management.
Yes.
At the minute, to be very honest with you, we are in talks to see, it's as you can imagine with the situation evolving on a daily basis, the information change. So at this current moment in time, the program is due to start in September with modules being online. This is because it's a very complex program, the Master in Management. Within this one program, we have many different tracks and specializations that are available from the very first day, not just a generic kind of track that everybody would follow. So for that reason, at the moment, we're still looking to start in September, offering the programs online until students can come and join us on campus. That's the only reason. But of course, if you have applied for this program, and if it is a case that there would be a change, you would of course be notified as soon as possible. Does that answer, is that okay?
I think so, and actually you explained it very well. It's because not all other programs are offering these online courses, and you'll have the chance to have these online courses in case they cannot join us in September. So they will be able, no matter where in the world they are at the moment, they will be able to follow that course. So I think, Shivam, is that fine for you? Yeah.
You got the heads up.
Yeah, it's fine. And there is Ali also asking another question. He's asking about the Master of Science in Finance and the January intake and the September intake, the difference between them, and yeah.
Here we go. So this is one of the programs that was starting in January originally. However, it's a double fold program with 2 different tracks. So there are 2 options. The first being a CFA track. Now, this is a very specific certification. The CFA is the Chartered Financial Analysis Institute in America, and it's known all over the world, obviously, for how it gets involved in finance. This is key to know because we need to follow their timetable in order to prepare you for the exams. We're one of the only schools with this track that will focus specifically on preparing you for the certificate level 1 and 2. So this is a 2-year program and starts in January to follow that option. For those who are interested in real estate and wealth management, there is a track that starts in September. This will not have anything to do with the CFA track, but there will be some module overlap, which is why it comes under one program. So if you're interested in CFA, that would be the January start on a 2-year program. If not, the September start is just for real estate and wealth management. It's quite a tough program, I won't lie, to explain. What we will show you afterwards, we've got an email address for admissions. It would be great to organise a call with one of us on the team, and we can explain this in more detail to make sure you're, of course, eligible, and see how else we can advise you if it's the right program for you.
And Katie, what happens if they would like to start in September with the CFA? Do they have an option?
So there is an option for the CFA in September if you have already taken and passed the CFA level 1. So this is often quite rare for students to join us in September to be prepared for the level 2. There is normally only 1 or 2 applications every year, as it would mean that students have normally had to prepare for this difficult certification on its own. So most of the time, if you've not already been working towards taking this test, you would need to start from January in order to follow this option. There is, however, the possibility to apply for the Masters in Management, where there is a CFA track, and this would start in September. So eventually it would start to do some of the same modules of this program, but that's the only option if you're interested in CFA, is joining in September on the Master in Management program.
So if I well understood from your slide just before, we have to make a difference between the students in France and the students abroad, because those with a bachelor, a French bachelor, and they want to do Master in Management, they have to go through Le Concours.
Exactly. So if anybody here has been in a French institution and has gained or has obtained their degree from France, from a French institution, and you have a French certificate, you unfortunately would have had to sign up for the national entrance exam, or the concours, normally through Écrit-Com, and this means that it's too late for you to apply for this program. However, as we say, there is an option. It's not too late, and you do not have to put your studies on hold this year. This is why we have the 2-year Master of Science option, which means that you will follow a pretty similar set of studies. You'll do generic, as we said, generic programs for your first year before joining your MSc in the second year. So this would allow any French students with a French degree who would like to come and study straight away to not miss out on a year of study. And it doesn't mean because you've not done the concours that it's too late for you to join a business school this year.
Thank you, Katie. I think it's clear. Ellie, thank you as well for your answer.
Thank you so much. But what I will just talk on briefly, I know people are asking, well, how do we stand out? It's the end of the recruitment period almost. We've got 2 months left. What can we do to make sure that I am noticed by the director, by the head of the program, and what will help me look better in my application and interview? So what we like to say here, and Mariceli, I'm sure will say the same, please respond in detail with clear examples to your questions. You will have 6 or 7 motivation questions on the online application. We need you please to expand on your answers. It's very difficult for the director and the heads of program to know more about you and your abilities, your passions, your professional projects, as we said before, why this program, if you can only respond with 1 line. Please take the time to write at least a paragraph or 2 so that we learn more about you, and this will of course help the head of the program to see why you should be an excellent candidate. As we were saying there, your professional project, try to take the time if you can to research the program, the modules, the director. There's lots of videos online. Get in touch with us at the admissions team. We've done webinars recently that have been specific to each program. So you can contact us at any time to see the interview and the webinar that was ran with somebody from our team and also the heads of program. And this will really help to show that you've taken the time to understand the program and why you'd like to study it. And I've also put in there, don't be afraid to show off. What we want to know is the experiences that you might have had abroad, volunteering opportunities, any additional certifications that you might have passed. Maybe you've studied architecture, but you have a real passion for finance, as we've had with some candidates, and they've studied alongside their architecture degree, lots of different modules in finance to make sure they were ready to join the program. So show off about what you've done. We want to learn more about you, because we want to make sure that you're going to be a great fit for the school and that we're going to give lots back to you as well. And this is why we said we're learning about you. Sorry, Maricela, question.
No, there is very, actually what you just say, it's very important. And this answers as well the question from Somesh that he asked before, how Neoma help in recruitment. So you just say they have to be in contact with their admission officer, with the recruiter. They shouldn't hesitate to contact us, to have a meeting with us. We do Skype, Zoom, phone calls to help them with the professional project, and also to be really all the steps along their application.
Exactly. With that, we really are there. You're never bothering us. Our job is there to help you. So please feel free to call us, as Maricela has said, emails. We would like to put you in a great light for the head of the program. That's completely our aim, to help you have the best application possible. And then,
so Somesh asked also another question for you that I think it's accurate to answer at this point of the presentation. He asked if some extracurriculum activity, such as certified-only courses, can help to boost application during the admission at Neoma.
Definitely. Even if it's not necessarily related to the program, of course, there will be some areas where if you've studied something additional in marketing, you know Photoshop very well, you've got certifications in different tools that are used, that's great. But anything you've been involved in is fantastic. It shows that you have a life outside of your school and your studies. You're passionate about what you like to do outside of school. And at Neoma, we say this all the time, that is our motto. Passion is everywhere in our motto. We're really passionate about what we do, and we want to make sure we're recruiting passionate students as well. So please feel free to bombard us with information about what you're interested in. We like it when students tell us about themselves. It makes our jobs a lot easier. Any other questions at the minute, Maricela?
Yes, there is a last question from Shivam. I know that this situation of the COVID, it's really extreme for all of us. We are all working from home, so I can see that many of our candidates and students, they are worried about what's going to happen. So Shivam is asking if he decides to defer his intake to September 21. Is it possible? What is the procedure?
Of course. Shivam, this is completely possible. If you apply for the program and you are admitted this year and you decide that you would feel more comfortable coming to the school in 2021, that is not a problem. We would just ask you to pay the down payment to keep your place secure for the next year. And that means we will contact you normally in the new year of 2021 to start the process for any visa requirements and to let you know what's required to complete your enrollment as a student. So that is completely an option that we can look to work with for you. But you would, of course, if you want to apply this year, it's still possible, and we'll just move it to next year for you when you let your recruitment manager know.
Yes. And Katie, if Danica is brave enough, I would like her to activate her micro, because her last question is quite interesting, and maybe it's easier if we talk with her directly. Danica, we activate your microphone and maybe your camera if you would like, so we can talk to you and you can ask your question to Katie.
Okay, can you hear me? I haven't used this mic before.
It's perfect, of course we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, so it's been a few years since I have gone to school. Like, I completed my undergraduate bachelor's degree, and I've been working in my field for the past few years, and I've actually owned my own business. But I was wondering for recommendations, can I get non-academic recommendations, or like are they?
You can get non-academic references. Obviously, we do say, oh, professional or academics. Would you have a professional reference that you would prefer to use, Danica?
Yeah, so I had a former employer, and also I was wondering if I could ask clients as well.
For my part, I don't think that would be a problem at all. The fact that you've already got lots of work experience is really crucial as well in itself. So seeing how you work with clients for most of the heads of the program would actually be really interesting. So please don't feel like, oh, I've not been in school for a little bit. We have actually had over the past few years, we have more and more students that come back to us after having work experience that will apply for some of our programs if they want to change their path slightly or go further with their studies. And the references that have been applied have obviously been clients or people that they may have worked with or met with from even if it's just working on a different team, that's completely fine. You don't have to just have academic references.
Okay, great. And how many should I have?
We do ask for 2 if possible, but we understand, again, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen, Maricelli is at home as well, and not everybody that you will ask for a reference from will have the capabilities to write official letters with the letterhead on from their company and be able to sign that and send it through. We know that's really difficult. So we're asking for a minimum of 1 letter in the current situation. 2 is, of course, preferred. And if your client, who would like to provide the reference for you, if they're unable to sign it, we would please ask that they contact us directly via email with their reference, so we can, of course, see that it comes from them. It's obviously not a mistrust thing, but unfortunately, with the amount of applications that we have to be really, really thorough with the letter of recommendations. And we're very strict here. Maricelli will tell you the same. If it's not signed or stamped or on letterheaded paper, we should not accept it unless the person has contacted us directly. Is that okay? So we understand it's difficult working from home, so we're doing everything we can, but letters of recommendation, please send them to us directly if you've got any, not from yourself, sorry, from the referent, directly would need to contact us. So your client should email us with their professional email.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. I've gone through that presentation. We've touched, like we say, on the professional project, but there was briefly a slide at the end which spoke about what Neoma can do for you as a student. So over the next few weeks, if you are interested, of course, we'll send you an email, everybody that came today. We'll send you the links and more information to different webinars that are coming up, where you'll be able to look at the housing, visa questions, double degree options. Unless you have questions now, please feel free to ask us. That's what we're here for. But we know this situation is difficult. This year has been complicated, but it is not too late, and it doesn't mean that you have to put off your studies for this year. We've done everything we can, and we are, as we say, here to be contacted. If you would like to apply, if you want more time one-on-one, this is what we're here for. So I don't know, Maricelli, have I missed any questions in the chat box whilst I present?
Yes, there is a question from Tim, and it's a question that we get very, very often. It's how much does it cost to study with us?
To study with us. So the MSc programs in itself are €16,900 for 15 months. The programs all work on a full-time basis. So from this time, it will be October for about 8 months. And then you will go on to do a work experience or an internship of 4 to 6 months. Please note that if you are able to find full-time work experience, this can replace your internship. If you, we have this happen quite a lot. Our students have studied, have got experience already, great applications, and they are able to secure employment before they have even finished their studies. We would, of course, not then ask you to turn this down and take an internship somewhere else. We just need you to accept work or find some work experience at the end of your studies. What we would say, though, if you do need to do the 2-year masters, it's €9,500 for the additional year. And Maricelli, if I'm not wrong, masters in management is
27,000 for both years.
For both years. So we do have, the question that often comes next is, are there any scholarships available? What we are doing at the minute, anyone that has come today to the webinar, we have a code for you to exonerate the application fee. So if you, we'll type it in the box for you. If you decide to apply, the €100 fee will be waived for you. So of course you can apply free of charge. And we do have a small number of excellent scholarships left, but we would need you to apply as soon as possible, as we are coming to the end of the recruitment period. Excellent scholarships are up to €4,000 for our MSc programs, and it's based normally, as we were talking before, your extracurricular activity, what you can bring to the school. We'll look at your grades, your application, how you perform the interview. So there's various elements that would go into play there when looking at the scholarships. If you decide to come with us next year, there'll obviously be the same options in terms of scholarships. However, a lot of governments, depending on where you're applying from and where you currently live, there are a lot of government options as well within particular countries. So feel free to get in touch. Our email's there, admissions@Neoma. We have a lovely little finance guide that can provide you with more information with regards to funding your studies as well. And we'd be more than happy to send that out to anybody that would like to receive one.
I don't know if someone else is having any question. For the moment, I can't see any.
I know, I'm just trying to scroll through. Unfortunately, I couldn't see the chat when I was presenting. But as we say, oh, someone's just going, hi again. If anybody else has other questions, please feel free to type it in the box. If not, I'm more than happy to just sum up for you on what we've touched on today. So the key point is it's not too late to join a program this year. If you are from a French institution with a French degree and you've missed le concours and you would like to join a business school, it's completely possible through our 2-year MSc programs. Most of our MScs have this option, so feel free to get in touch with us. Those of you with a 3-year bachelor's degree that have, Danica, for example, sorry, you said you've got quite a bit of work experience. Say if your undergraduate was only 3 years, if you've got 4 years of work experience, you would not be expected to do the pre-master's year. So please get in touch and I can have a look at your CV and see what you'd be eligible for. We need to know about your professional project. So as we say, get in touch with us, ask us what you would like to do, tell us your ambitions, your wildest career dreams, and we will tell you the programs that can help you get there. So please take the time to have a look on the website and please apply before the 3rd of August. We have delayed this, but any applications received after this date, unfortunately, it will be too late. So as of today, you've got exactly 2 months to still apply, which means you've got 2 months to talk to somebody on the team if you've got any questions. Oh, I've just seen Shivam's got one last question. I've been admitted to the MEAN program, so the Masters in Management program. If I'm able to reach France by October, will the course start then? So sorry, Shivam, if I wasn't quite clear before. So the program at this current moment in time will be starting in September and the programs will commence online. So if you arrive in October, that's no problem at all because you would have had access to all of the programs online and then you can join us as well as of October. So that wouldn't be a problem at all. Also, I've just seen that you've asked about partnerships. For that particular one, I'm going to have to check. I don't want to tell you anything wrong, Tim. For ease, I believe we do, but I'm just going to check the program because I know we've had a few changes this year.
We do actually,
we
do have, but actually it's not at the moment of the recruitment that you can apply for this partnership. You will, if you go into our website, there is a part of the Master in Management where you can see all our partners in France and at international level. So it depends, for example, for which type of diploma you would like to do, that you can go to one partner or to the other. I may be able to send you.
Glad you're here, Maricela. So the name rings a bell.
Sorry?
I've just said the name rings a bell, but I'm not sure what the track is, so we'll have
yeah, CGLEC, I'm sure that we have a partnership, but the thing is, we can, at the moment of the recruitment, we cannot assure you that you will have a place with this partner. So, because it depends on the number of people that would like to do these dual studies, and it will depend of many factors. So probably if there are not many candidates to go to this partner, so they will be able. But if there are many, so maybe they will have to have great grades to be accepted in the program. So we do have a CGLEC as partner for the MEAN program, but we cannot assure a place with this partner at the moment of the recruitment.
Perfect. Thank you, Maricela. And I've just seen, Shivan, you've had another message about Erasmus exchanges. So normally Erasmus exchanges, This is an agreement between institutions. So if you're currently with an institution that partners with Neoma and has the Erasmus program, you would be able to apply normally through your school to come and study with Neoma for a semester or a full year as part of your Erasmus program. But this would not mean that you would be part of, I've just thought, Shivam, do you want to put your mic on, Shivam? Are you referring to whilst you're at our school, going to an institution as an Erasmus student or coming to Neoma?
No, I mean, when I'm with Neoma as a MIM student, so would I be able to, yeah.
Of course you would be. Sorry, I've just thought when I've read it and gone, oh, maybe you want to do it. From our side, in the MEAN program, you are eligible to do an academic exchange. The MSc programs do not have academic exchanges, only double degree options for two of the programs, which is the Global Management Program and the International Luxury Management Program, sorry. So it's only the MEAN program where you are able to take place in an academic exchange.
So I guess we'll be out to some other institution for around 4 months, 1 semester, right?
So there's quite a few options for you. So it would be your second semester of the first year. So normally, I know you were just talking before, if I can only get to France in October, will that be okay? That will not be a problem, because it would be your second semester that would be an academic exchange. And with the Masters in Management program, if you were really interested in having more time with different institutions, there would be an option to do what we call almost a gap year as part of your studies, to go and be an international student elsewhere. So if you've already been admitted, who was your recruitment manager, Shivam?
Mr. Shekhar Surti.
Well, that's perfect, because he would have a list as well, and he's able to tell you in quite a lot of detail your options for a gap year as well. So you'd have the option in the second semester, but there's even an option to draw out your studies from 2 years to 3 years to spend more time abroad with an international partner of ours.
So can I ask you one more question?
Of course.
Yeah, so my question was that the gap year, the second year, so as you said, we could either work somewhere, have multiple internships, or study somewhere else.
Yes, that's your two options, sorry. So either you'll go and study for a year somewhere else, or either you'll do internships for a year.
So where I study in the gap year is one of your partner institutions, right?
We have lots and lots of partner institutions. There's about 200, which is why it's a little bit difficult to reel all of the names off. However, you can choose from 5 continents, 50 countries, and there's lots of different options. It's the same as Mariceli was saying before. This will normally be based on your grades. So we can't guarantee, if you say this is the university I want to go to Brock University in Canada, we can't guarantee that you would be selected for that program if there was lots of students interested. But if you search online, what we will do, if you just drop a quick email to admissions afterwards, we will try and find a link, but all you need to search online is international partners, and you will have a list where you can scroll by country the different partner options that you'll have.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for answering our questions very patiently.
You're so welcome. But we're here if you've got any questions afterwards. I
do have right now.
Oh, don't you worry. If you want to drop us an email, Shivam, and we can pass it through to Car for you and make sure that he answers everything for you. Is that okay?
I'll let others question you too.
Oh, no worries at all. We'll be really happy to help. Tim, there's some information there for you as well about the partners for the Master in Management.
And the second link, Katie, sorry to interrupt you, is for Shivam, because he's interested in international academic partners. So there are 2 links in the chat box. One is for Tim, for the partners in France, and the second link is for Shivam with all the international academic partners.
Oh, can you see that, Shivam? Just on the chat box.
Yeah, so here, after my second semester, that is after my first year, so I get to study here in my gap year, and then I come back to Neoma for my third semester.
But if anybody else is interested in the Master in Management, this gap year in between your first and second years of Master is not obligatory. It's for those students who feel it's what they're really passionate about and would like to do. So most students may decide to do the full first year at Neoma, stay in France, and the second year do a double degree with a Master of Science. The gap year in between these 2 years is completely your choice.
Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Mariceli, have I missed any questions?
No, but something else that I was thinking about now talking to Shivam is that about the gap year, it's not only an exchange that it's possible to do, but also the internships. And maybe we can talk a little bit about our service, talent and career. What do you think?
Oh, that's a really good idea, actually, because I've just thought I've had a question where somebody said, will the school help me with my placements? So we have, as Mariceli says, we have a talent and careers service. So as much as we are not able to take the interview for you, we cannot say to a business, please take this student, you must take this student. We have the partners there. We have a job teaser website, which has thousands and thousands of job offers, as well as internships that you are able to apply for around the world. And we have services for our students to help with their CVs, to help with their interview preparation, and obviously giving you the opportunities to apply for jobs with our partners. So as much as we can't say, this is where you will go, this is where you will go, we will do everything we can to help you get the best internships, and the same with jobs afterwards. We're constantly there with our alumni network, putting you in touch with people from the school in great positions that can help you out. And that's often how a lot of our students do get their jobs afterwards, through the contacts from the school. We're the 4th biggest alumni network in France, and we do all we can to help prepare you. So please use these services, as they are free to students.
Usually this service reach you from day one. So every time when you start at Neoma, they have a presentation, but of course you have to be the one contacting them afterwards and trying to get involved and prepare everything well. Maybe a small recommendation is you don't need at all French to study, because all our courses can be taught in English, and actually most of our courses are in English. But if you could put some effort on your side to learn some French basics, I think it will help you to find an internship. What do you think, Katie?
Definitely. It's as an example, I speak no Italian, and if I was to go to Italy, as much as there would be opportunities in English where I could possibly find a job, the competition for those jobs will obviously be much higher. So having a good grasp of French is going to be a key advantage. Even though, like as Mariceli says, it's important, there are the opportunities though for you to do your internships wherever you want around the world. So there will be no restrictions from Neoma saying you must stay in France. We would in fact encourage you, and often it's the case with the Master of Science programs, to go as far as you can, really explore the world and different businesses, especially when most of the programs are preparing you for international careers, not just careers in France.
That's right.
On the very first slide that we did, I didn't touch on it too quickly, we do have 25% of our student body that are international. But also, as you can see, Mariceli and myself, we're not French. Even the staff down to the teachers, we're a very international school. So our aim at the end of the day is for you to get the best international careers. But French will help if you are hoping to stay.
And we offer some language courses if you want to follow them at school. So this will be possible.
We do indeed.
Yeah. Well, Katie, I don't know if someone else have any question. I haven't seen any other question in the chat box. I can't see either anyone raising their hands. So
perfect. Well, thank you for your help, Mariceli. There was quite a lot of questions there. Everybody, thank you so much for coming and joining us. We've put all the information there. If you need to get in touch, just scroll down. It's been great to speak with you all. We will be in touch with you with more information to give you a link to obviously the future webinars to come. Please do not hesitate to get in touch, and we hope to see some of you on the campus as soon as possible for the 2020 start. As you can see, Mariceli's put it all there again, our contacts. But thank you so much for coming. And everybody have a lovely evening or afternoon, morning, depending on where you're calling from. Thanks so much, guys.